we want to come down here and cut off their retreat. So we want to go get some fast mechanized forces down here. So let's go with our cruiser tanks, R2, and reinforce them. R2, one mechanized, if you will, one motorized infantry unit. I think we will also put our artillery, which is towed there. They want us to attack or capture those two. Okay. We don't see a particularly significant difference between those two units, so we're going to do that. We're going to do that. And I'm going to purchase another tactical bomber. Instead of using the second fighter. Three points, yeah. We'll use that. I think you're going to be our big heavy blunt instrument for this push. Now, I'm going to also gamble that I don't need the anti-air. We're going to use you just because we can. Okay, so that leaves 10 points left. We use that, that's 3. Now if we go to 4, that would leave 6. So, I don't know. Valentine's ground base reconnaissance. More artillery. We're all 3. Okay, so just trying to I guess these are a bit better. A little better defensive. A little better offensive. Sort of want the speed though. And you, we're going to be about, oh, we can't do added transportation to you? Well, oh, well, we could go to there. Oh, yeah, we can go up to 1941. That would be nice. And there, then we'll go Universal Carrier. Upgrade, and then, I guess, deploy you to here. And so that uses all but 2, one air and 1 ground. Thanks, Scooter. Which, with time to spare, if you right-click on the mini-map, you'll get an overview map. Oh, okay, cool. Actually, I don't know that I knew that, but that's quite useful. So we've got enough time to get this started today. I'm sure we'll be continuing sometime in the future from here. Okay, so we're doing a gamble of not thinking we need too much air coverage. Well, we have a construction group. Build an airbase or something? Yep. Struck. Okay, have not used one of those before. There. So I'm hoping, yep, that'll do that. Well, we are facing some Italian air. No, we're not pushing in this turn. Well, maybe we can attack with that. An attack, yes. Again, I'm not pushing in to be surrounded by everybody. Hello, Italian trying to escape. We're going to try to prevent that. I'm guessing there's somebody in there, so we're going to drive 2 here. The Italian armored cars are actually rather decent compared to everything else that was sort of underwhelming. The Italian armored cars and the Italian Beretta submachine guns were their sort of good bits in the whole thing. Move you up, don't move. Set up for a that's ground attack. That's one of their biplane fighters. So let's no, I want the Spitfire. And we'll also start sending out this relatively slow Lysander. Get them out there to recon the front lines, and you can go back into your favorite aircraft there. I'm leaving you guys back there. Just clear out the aircraft first. So what? Okay, is this going to be aircraft that I haven't done? Yeah. I guess we don't have any naval support this time. I figured they might attack the trucks. I was hoping that, which apparently so. They're too weak to overly. They actually landed their. Okay, that's a bad AI move. They landed their aircraft on an airbase as I'm about ready to attack it with ground troops. That is not the most brilliant maneuver in the world. Well, that ain't bad. Well, mentioning that. guys make it in good. That's not a good attack, but that is. These engineers. There we go. That works. You guys come up to here. Matildas can come to here. Probably out of fuel. Maybe. If they had the scenario start that way, that could be. I mean, that would be a good reason for it to be that way. Absolutely. Can these guys? No, they gotta come to here. They're gonna come to here. We're gonna attack there. And these guys are gonna attack there. And then fall back on that anti-tank support. Oh, damn. Oh, well, I guess I can still attack. I just keep forgetting things, not doing things well. Yep. Yeah. Well, now that those guys landed and are getting messed up, we'll move you forward. Oh, we also have an Australian hurricane. Wow, I didn't realize that. Okay, we could have had him up here. That's all we can do this turn. That hurt. Well, maybe we should. I don't know that we can get up there in time. Well, we probably could have. I'm sure we could have. Okay, you guys, shoot them down. And other fighters, those are. Should have one more fighter, don't I? Okay, that is the Australian one. Where is the English one? Oh, here it is. Okay, you fly over to here. Shoot them down. Very good. Now. This is the ability if I wish to. We'll see. What are my options? Okay, we got more attack options here. Could strike there again a second time. I think we'll just work on these people a bit. Yeah, we got plenty of points. Let's fully reinforce these guys. There we go. Now, oh, very good. Very good indeed. Might as well take the little extra movement. Okay, I got an anti-tank gun, good to know. Reconnaissance. They're doing well here. Doing well there. But what haven't we moved? Okay, well, I guess we're going to keep you coming forward. I don't know that we need the artillery this turn. Now I want to say a little bit regarding this whole campaign and Italy and the war and all of that. Italy is often derided during this war, and I think rightfully so. But it's not all just, oh, Italian troops are bad, or Italian troops are unmotivated, or they just didn't like Mussolini. I mean, there are a lot that didn't. But you got to sort of understand, warfare really in many ways are acts of willpower. You can absolutely get whether it's open desert or the Russian steppes, and go, hey, yeah, I've got, 100 guys with rifles, and it's, completely open. Oh, and there's some tanks, whether they be Panzer IVs or T-34s or whatever, and yeah, we can have all the hell of the will in the world, but our even 100 plus guys aren't going to be able to deal with those 10 tanks or something like that. I mean, we can't really even scratch their paint. Now you can change that terrain around to going, oh, we are the two, one Jewish and one general, Polish uprising, the Warsaw uprisings, and look in an urban environment and go, hey, we can make Molotov cocktails and other things to drop on tanks and out of desperation and deal with it. And that's sort of the point, is that yes, sometimes material stuff comes purely into it, no matter what the will, your will is. But will is really the effort. But let's look at the Italians here. Their officer corps really sucked. Their NCOs weren't really much better. So your leadership is not good, is not modern, isn't even hardly up to World War I standards. Okay. 2, your equipment. Okay, your basic Carcano rifle is all right. And I'll probably go a few minutes long. There's nobody scheduled after me. But it's, relatively out of date, but it still functions. Your Beretta submachine guns, they're actually pretty good, but there's not that many of them. Your Ravelli heavy machine guns have a little brush on them that sort of oil comes out a little reservoir, and the little brush brushes the ammo as it comes into the machine gun with a little bit of oil so that it functions well enough. So we have a machine gun, unlike just about every other machine, medium heavy machine gun in the war, won't even function in ideal conditions without the extra help of oiling the ammunition that oils the action. So you have that bad. And then, of course, you take this, not just in normal places we have a bit of dust, you take it to some of the most dusty, because I've never been out there. Maybe some of you watched out there, or they're watching, have been out to, the Middle East. I understand that in some areas, including the areas that they're fighting in, it's not the gritty sand that I'm used to here in the deserts in California, but almost like talcum powder sand. So you're putting it in an environment that is just going to gunk it up. So your medium machine guns, your equipment is just not good in that format. You talked earlier about the low-powered anti-tank rifles, low-powered for anti-tank rifles, medium powered generally. Your light machine gun has a fixed box magazine that is on the side, sort of like a, you can have a Bren gun magazine on the top. This is on the side, but it's fixed to the gun that you push a little button and it swings open. And then you take a stripper clip and you strip in 5 rounds and then do that 3 more times for 20 rounds, and then you close it and you can start shooting again. And it's not a terribly reliable light machine gun anyways, but you can load 4 stripper clips in it, shoot them, open it up, load 4 more in, not change the magazine in and out. So you have a light machine gun that is, other than making it a light machine gun that, say, you load 1 bullet in at a time or something, or a light machine gun is purely semi-auto, or a bolt-action light machine gun, I can't think of a worst possible idea for a light machine gun. Maybe somebody in chat can come up with what would be worse than a fixed magazine that you load in 4 stripper clips of 5 rounds apiece, got 20 rounds, open it again, do that again. So obviously you need at least one guy. Minimum needs to be a 2-man operation. Now it should always be like a 2-man operation for a light machine gun, but the guy firing it, fires, it gets a little hot. The other guy swings open, loads it up. Okay, so you have some of the worst equipment out there. You have bad leadership. You have, yes, not terribly, there are the loyal fascist black shirt units, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that, yay, Mussolini is dealing with a lot of corruption. There was a lot of corruption in Italy, and Mussolini was cleaning that up. So I'm just trying to look at a perspective of an Italian at the time. So yeah, if you're not one of the people that he's targeting, Mussolini may not be the worst guy in the world, and you wouldn't mind having a big proud empire. The French Chauchat was worse. No. I disagree there, Arno. The French Chauchat was mildly bad, but not worse. No, disagree. It has at least a detachable magazine, and it's generally running about 30 rounds per detachable magazine. It varies, and you can do that. Because it's detachable, it works better. And at the time, new ones were more reliable. They were meant to have a short lifespan. That's why a lot of the post-war and later ones, people play around with modern day, just don't work really good. And sometimes they were given to the U.S. troops, which some of the U.S. troops had experienced American machine guns, which were better, but also they were bad to some degree in the conversion to 30-06, as well as they were given old machine guns that were well used up before. So some of the writings on how bad the Shosha is true, but not true when it's in its proper condition. At least that's my understanding. Again, I've not shot any Shoshas. I would recommend you to see an arsenal, and they've evaluated the machine gun very well, and I'm taking that into account. So, but functionally, the idea of having multiple magazines, single-man portable, yeah, it's a rough machine gun, but it isn't as bad as the Italian one. And, so you're not maybe upset at Mussolini's, empire grab, but you're not. It isn't fighting for your homeland. It isn't fighting, there isn't a strong will to fight for the Italian soldier against the British. They don't hate the British. Hell, the British in the last war were their allies, and so were the French. It's not like... Now, I don't know the makeup of the troops that were sent to Spain. There was about 3 divisions of them, and some of them were fascist units sent to Spain to fight there. And I really, quite honestly, don't know much about them, whether they were purely individual volunteers or whether they just grabbed up a couple of divisions and saying, you're all going to go. Now, they fought fairly well there. Now, of course, they were fighting against various Spanish units, though some of the Spanish units were fairly well equipped and trained by Soviet advisors, Soviet equipment, Soviet advisors. But there, you have the motivation is, hey, we're saving the world from communism and anarchism. So it's sort of like, yay, we're the good guys fighting the bad guys. Where here it's like, we're the Italians fighting the British. We don't hate the British. We haven't hated the British. We have no, history. Because remember, up until 1935, there is a Franco-Britanno-Italian alliance officially. And it only starts to crumble in 35 when when Mussolini invades Abyssinia in France, and Britain put on, through the League of Nations, embargoes against Italy. So they've been allies up until 1935, officially, formally. So, found the site already, don't know, check it out later, don't know exactly. But, so yeah, so you don't have a motivation to hate or wanting to fight the Brits or even the French. And so all this in combination together, you don't trust your leaders, you don't trust your equipment, you don't have an overly motivation to fight your enemy. And then as the war goes on, as we saw earlier today in the stream, this continuing destruction of the 10th Army, which really does happen. I don't know historically if some units get out, but the great bulk of it is destroyed and captured in huge numbers of troops. Not maybe rivaling the, great encirclements going into the Soviet Union, coming up a bit later, obviously summer 41, but are pretty damn significant. And then you have more of these actions going along in North Africa, and then by the time you get to Sicily, it's just ever so apparent that your nation is just not equipped to fight, is not going to win. So, and most Italians are not hating the Western Allies. They're not hating the idea of, general liberal democracy. They may be hating, communism or something, but they're just not overly motivated. So, yeah, the Italian troops aren't well motivated. And that is an important factor in war. And that's what, I hope it needs to be brought out in games like this to be accurate. Because that's what you're looking for, I think, mostly in games like this. Is one that accurately portrays it. And is sort of why unit qualities really do sort of matter. Right, okay, well, as you can see, we're pushing up there pretty hard. We're going to move move you down this way. These guys are going to battle this out, I think. So I just don't want random, even just anti-tank units in my rear. Oh, let's be smart. Get the Lysanders out there. Okay. Should have maybe flown a little further south to see there effectively. Okay, I'm going to presume there's somebody in the town, and yes, there is. So no, we're not going to attack the town. So I think we're going to end this here. I know it went about 10 minutes over, but that's okay. There wasn't anybody waiting to stream after me. So again, everyone, if you haven't already, please, of course, follow the channel and all. I really do, we all really do appreciate it because we like hanging out with you a lot. So thanks, Scooter. You're always good to have in chat, and everyone else, thank you so much. I will be back next week. I forget what day. I'm sure it'll be on the schedule for more streaming. So thank you all. See you then.